Record. All right, guys. It is. I'm not going to go full screen because for some reason my Zoom has been kicking me off when I go full screen. I don't know why. Maybe I need to update it. I don't even know. How do you update Zoom? Maybe I need to check that out. But welcome to Team Call. It is January 9th. Real quick before I get into the call, I want to talk about this. I posted this in the team page. It's pinned to the top of the page. There was a bunch of people that said that they wanted to give their testimonials, share their testimonials, and no one has shared their testimonials with me. And I don't even want you to comment in there. You can just email me. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't take, you can literally spend 5 to 10 minutes writing it out. Something short and sweet, because it can't be super long anyway, because it's going in like a little booklet. It's going to be like a Google Drive type of thing. So when you get the chance, if you could send me, if you were somebody who wants to share your testimonies, we're going to have a big Team Confidence testimonial book that's going to benefit you guys as coaches. Because when someone says, oh, I want to try this program, or you just want to share results from the team in general, and it can be physical transformations, mental transformations, anything you want to share, but share, a little snippet. If you want to share before and after, that's appreciated, but not mandatory. But if you guys can find some time by the end of the month, just put it on your calendar. Because if you just keep saying, oh no, I'm going to get it done, it's never going to get done. So you have to put it on your calendar. This is going to be something that's going to be beneficial to all of us. So I believe this is pinned to the top of the page. Maybe the calendar is, but just make sure you check out that post, or just send me an email and send me, you don't even have to say anything. Just say, here's my thing, snippet, before and after, and then we'll be good to go. Okay. Super Saturday. So I don't have the Team Fit Rev call. I made this call earlier today, and I thought I would have the call from Lauren, but I haven't gotten it yet. But the Team Fit Rev call that we did last week, I really want you guys to check it out if you didn't watch it. Also, the Super Saturday video, so I'll share that in the team page when I get it. But the Super Saturday video is in the team page, so if you didn't make it to Super Saturday, it is important that you watch that video. There's a lot of announcements. There's announcements about the Success Club trip next year. There's so many announcements, so it's really, really important that you check out that video. Also, you want to make sure, if you want to come to Summit and you're not a Success Starter, you want to buy your ticket for Summit for Indianapolis. It is June 21st to the 24th. But if you're a Success Starter and you hit Success Club in your first 3 months as a coach, you get a free ticket to Summit. And if you're one of my coaches, you get to stay with me for free. So all you have to do is worry about getting yourself there. So it's $145 and it's going to be regular price at $195. So you want to try to grab that. That ends the 31st. What else? So they announced on Super Saturday that the Success Club trip for next year in 2019 is going to Bahamas and Haiti. It is on a cruise ship. And for those of you that were on the cruise ship 2 years ago, was it 2 years ago? I think it was. Yeah. It was the biggest cruise ship in the world. They just made a new one and it's even bigger, which kind of frightens me because I'm like, oh my God, but we were fine last time. But so I got my invite today, so I am going to fill out if you hit Success Club in every month in 2000, I believe in 2016 or 2017, whatever it was, you will get an invite. You should have gotten an invite today. You can still make it off the list. So if you were hitting Success Club, maybe not every single month, but pretty often, hitting 5 and 10, you will most likely get an invite to 2019. So the way it works is, for the next year's trip, the only way you can get invited, because it's invite only, is the work that you did in 2018. But the work that you, in 2017, but the work that you do in 2018 pays for your trip. Every Success Club point you get $10 towards the trip. So it's $1,200. And I've never heard of anybody not getting the room paid off, because most likely if you got an invite to go to the Success Club trip, you're hitting Success Club, you're going to get it paid off. And January are double Success Club points. So you get $20 for every one Success Club point you get. But the work that you guys do now will get you on the trip in 2020. So if you want to make sure that you make it on 2020's Success Club trip, you want to make sure that you're hitting Success Club every month. I mean, you should want to be wanting to hit Success Club every month for a million other reasons, but that's just a really awesome reason to be able to go. Not only do you get to go, you get to bring someone for free. You get it completely paid for, because if you're going, you're most likely hitting Success Club. There's no way you won't. You get credit when you're there. Last trip that we just went to in what was it, April, we got a $750 resort credit where we got to use it for whatever we wanted. Lots of really cool stuff. So really just beneficial to your business. When you can share, hey, I'm on this trip, you can go too. absolutely massive for your business. And you get to hang out with people that you only probably get to see once or twice a year, which is really fun. So I'm excited to see all of you guys in Mexico, literally in 4 months, which is absolutely insane. I need to get my flights. Anyway, beach bars are coming. If you haven't heard about that in the Super Saturday video, Beachbody has created a bar now for those people who are like, oh my God, I don't want to drink Shakeology. They want to get a bar. They can grab bars. It's 150 calories, has 10 grams of protein, 6 grams of sugar. I do recommend you read the ingredient labels. I went on the FAQ, couldn't find the ingredient label, but I'm sure it's somewhere online. I am upset because there is soy in it, but not everybody has to avoid soy. So if you don't avoid soy, I think there's also dairy in it maybe. So they're not vegan and they're not soy free, but they are gluten free and they're not unhealthy. There's no artificial ingredients, nothing like that. But just make sure you read the label if you do avoid soy and you do avoid dairy, because you probably will not be able to have them, which is sad. But I know Beachbody, they're going to come out with a vegan bar. It's just, they're going to go slow like they always do. And then lastly, 80-day obsession obviously starts on Monday, so you want to make sure you're prepared, make sure you look over the meal plans, all of that fun stuff. And then a weekly challenge. I've noticed there are 14 posts in a hashtag Confidence Squad, so shout out to everybody that is really using those. We talked about it on last week's team call. Use it on every single post. Like, add it into your hashtags if you tend to forget. I like adding it to the actual caption versus the comments so people can see it, more likely to click on it. But there's 14 posts in there, so I'm proud of you guys for doing that. So I'm going to set my Instagram live up really quick, and then we will get started. Okay. There we go. Okay, so really quick before we get into that, just wanted to shout out everybody who already hit Success Club. Shout out you guys who are rocking it because it's only the 9th. I really think that this can be a huge month for all of us. I mean, you guys know this is our season. This is the perfect time to be a coach because everybody who's looking for their resolutions and getting healthy and all that stuff, they need support. They need accountability, and we are there for them. And then shout out to everybody who's already on the board. Okay, so let's get into the call. So we're going to talk about 2 things tonight. Probably, if you guys have any questions about anything, totally ask, because there were some things that I was talking about that I was like, I think some people are probably going to have some questions about. But we're going to talk about how to make 2018 about you and doing you, which means stop caring what people think and stop always comparing yourself to other people. This is something I know that you guys struggle with. I know that so many people struggle with. I struggled with it in the beginning of my business. So many people just struggle with it in general. That's totally fine. But you have to be proactive, just as anything else in your journey, to do something about it. So many of you guys say, like, oh, I really struggle about caring what people think. But do you do anything about it? You say you really struggle with comparing yourself, but do you do anything about it? So tonight I'm going to really share with you some kind of the why. You guys know I always like to talk about the why and the reasons why we do the things we do before I get into the how. But if you guys have any questions, or maybe you thought of something that I didn't talk about, please ask, because I was like trying to think. I was like, I feel like there's probably some things people are going to ask. So please share. I would love to answer any questions that anybody has. So if you have any questions, just type in the chat box and we can talk about it. So what we're going to talk about: why you shouldn't care what people think, how to stop doing that, why comparison will kill you and your life, and then steps to take to end comparison. Okay, so first we're going to talk about why caring about what other people think is pointless. And I have some notes over here, but I cannot even read my handwriting. Okay, so first of all, caring what people think is all ego. All about our ego. Our ego runs everything. It tells us, what to do. It tells us how we should think, and we always let it run our lives because that's what we're used to. When you are constantly caring what people think, it's because we are constantly always looking for approval in others. The ego in us actually wants a reaction out of people. And it sounds like I'm not calling you a bad person. It's just the innate nature in us. We can't help it. It's human nature. When people say good things, it's like, oh, look, that person said something good about me. Oh, my sister said something good about me. This is your ego saying this. And this is not what you say out loud, but you're thinking it in your subconscious. Like, oh, that person wrote something good about me. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited with this person said something good. Like, the ego wants the attention. Regardless of you yourself wants the attention, the ego wants the attention. So that's why you're constantly always looking for approval in other people. And we actually tiptoe around life based on other people's perception of reality. If you like think about that for a second, we literally, because what an opinion is someone's perception of reality. It's not even a real thing. That's their perception of reality. So we walk around caring about what somebody's going to say about what we posted on Facebook or Instagram, or what somebody's going to think about what we wear based off someone's perception of reality. And we let that completely run our lives. Like, that's not okay. So I asked you, are you really going to put your life, your dreams, your goals into the hands of another human being? Like, that sounds silly when you say it, right? Like, could you imagine just being like, okay, like Sims? Did anybody ever play Sims? When you were younger? For me, I played Sims like all the time. Like, I'd wake up early in the morning just to play Sims. But you like make their house and you make their clothes and you give them their job, and like if you like put them in, like, there was like a bunch of crazy stuff that you could do. But that's literally, when you care what people think, you're basically like being a little sim and just being like, yeah, it's okay. You can totally like pick and choose, like, oh, you don't think I should, not go to college and I should pursue my dreams as an entrepreneur? Okay, I won't do it because that's what you think. Like, obviously you want to think about, what you want to do. You don't want to just, wing it and not think about anything at all. But just understand that this is really important, that you can't let somebody else's thoughts and whatnot control your life. Okay. I was going to say something else, but anyway. So what you focus on, you get more of. You guys always know I talk about manifest and the universe and all that stuff. But if you're a people pleaser, which a lot of people are, and that's constantly what you're thinking about, and you're thinking about if people approve of you, you're actually going to attract criticism, self-comparison with yourself, and stress. So it's not just about caring what people think. You're actually manifesting more of it because you are so intensely focused on what other people think of you and what people are going to say that you'll actually attract the mom and the dad saying more stuff about you. But the less you, like, for me, I care. So I love my parents and I love my family and I love my friends, but I don't give a shit what anybody thinks. And not in like a bad way. It's like a not sorry way. And we're going to talk about the not sorry method a little bit later on. But I love them to death. And I care in terms of them caring about me, but I will not let any of their opinions run my life. And they don't criticize me anymore. I mean, they might say some things, but it's so much less than when I actually cared because I'm not manifesting it. So when you start caring less, you actually stop dealing with it as much. And you also build up a thick skin and don't even notice it. But that's the goal. That's where you want to get. So there's something called the spotlight effect, and it's something that just happens in our brain. And it's when we think that we're struggling, what we're struggling with and dealing with and focusing on, everybody else is focusing on it too. But guess what? No one actually cares. And then that might sound a little bit wrong, but it's a good thing to think about. I promise you it's a good thing to feel. So let's talk about the fact that no one cares. No one cares what you're doing. Not no one cares about you, but no one cares about what you're doing. Everyone is thinking, think about how much we think about ourselves, about our job, what we're going to eat and what we're going to wear and what we're going to do, and this person this person that, and you make up to 50,000, I think, decisions in a day. Everybody else is doing that same thing. So everyone else is just thinking about themselves so much that they aren't paying attention to you. Some people might occasionally say something, and there might be those annoying people on Facebook that have to say a mean comment, but like that's like 0.2% of their day putting attention on you. So you let that 0.2% attention that someone puts on you for 5 seconds of their day completely derail you, completely make you change what you think, what you do. And this can apply, you guys, I mean, I know that we're doing this for I really want you to think about this in your business, but you can think about this in any sense. But especially your business. Like, if you don't want to, post something, you don't want to share something because you're afraid what somebody's going to say. Remember that is 5 seconds of their day that's controlling a decision that could change your life. Like, how scary is that? Like, when and we're going to talk about awareness as the first step in terms of not caring what people think. But when you realize that, you're going to be like, holy shit, oh my God, I'm not going to let that 5 second thing change a life decision for me. Like, it's absolutely insane. So we spend all this time thinking people are looking at us, but everyone is so self-consumed. Humans by nature are extremely selfish beings, not in like a bad way, like I'm selfish, I don't care about anyone else. But we are the only person that we deal with every single day. When no one else is around, when we're alone in the house, like we are with us. So we're selfish human beings. It's human nature. It's not anything you're going to stop. You can become a little bit more selfless, but we're always going to be selfish people. So just understand that. And remember that everyone else is the same exact way. Okay. So I want you guys to repeat after me. I cannot please everyone, and I never will. No matter how badly you try to think you can please everyone, you will never do it. I promise you. Even if you were the best wife for your husband, and you were the best mom, and you were the best friend, like for all of the people in your life, like you put a lie detector on everybody and they would be like, is Alexis like the best ever? And they would say yes, and you knew it was true. There would still be people out in the world that wouldn't like me, that would hate me, that would, there's always going to be haters. So no matter, even if you can please 500 people, there's still going to be one person that doesn't like you or hates you or whatever. There's always going to be haters. So since you cannot stop people from judging, it's better for you to grow thick skin and desensitize yourself, and we're going to talk about how to do that, from worrying about what others think. Because if I'm telling you, and it makes me want to cry thinking about the people that try to please everyone, because I used to be a big people pleaser as well. When I used to do that, and I think about people that are doing it to their core, and it's not about being perfect. You just want everybody to like you. You want your husband to think that you keep the house perfect and nothing goes wrong. And you want your mom to think that you're doing everything that you can. And you want your kids to think that you're the perfect mom. And you want your friends to think this and your coworkers to think that. Like, just saying that is exhausting. And it makes me want to cry to think that so many people in the world are literally are going to die unhappy and unsatisfied because they spent their entire lives trying to please every single person. And I'm telling you, the day you wake up and realize that you don't have to please anyone, it's the greatest feeling ever. And I'm not saying I still don't struggle with it, but my goodness, it's a free life to not have to worry about that anymore. I'm not saying it to brag. I'm saying it because it's possible. So, okay, first, let's start with how you can stop. So we're going to talk about some other things, but I want to talk about this first. So number one, this is like the 3 easy steps that you could do. Number one, you want to catch yourself. So as with anything else, when you learn something new, I'm not just going to talk to you about this tonight and you're going to be inspired and tomorrow you're going to wake up and nothing's going to bother you. It's not how it works. This is going to take relentless consistency of you doing this. So number one, you want to catch yourself. Next time your mom says something or somebody on Facebook says something or somebody on Instagram says something and it bothers you and you notice it and you get that feeling in your stomach, you just want to catch yourself and say, okay, I notice I'm feeling this way. That person's annoying, but I'm not going to care. You're going to accept reality. Except reality is all the stuff we just talked about, that you can't please everyone, that you don't need to please everyone, that everyone is not even really paying attention to you. And that 5-second Instagram comment somebody made, they are going to forget about it by the end of the day. Then you want to do it anyway. So this is the biggest thing. Out of all the things I'm going to talk about tonight, this is number one. The only way to get past caring what people think, like all the things I teach, if I could only give you one thing and then I had to run away, it would be that you have to force yourself outside of your comfort zone over and over and over again. Literally embarrass yourself to where you get so uncomfortable that you're like, oh my God, this doesn't even bother me anymore. Immersion therapy. If you've ever heard of it before, if somebody's afraid of snakes, they go into a bathtub full of snakes and they get to the point where you can't be scared anymore. Like you just get past it. You get over that plateau and you're like, okay, snakes aren't going to kill me. I mean, I guess they could, but you know what I mean? But you get past that point and you immerse yourself in it. So I suggest you make a list of and we're going to talk about making a growth list, but make a list of 5 things that really scare the shit out of you. If it's in your business and you really want to go Facebook Live because you know it's going to help, but you're afraid, or maybe it's you just want to send voice messages to someone, or maybe you love to dance. Like you guys know I shuffle. Maybe you actually love to dance, but you haven't done it on social media and you want to do that. Or maybe it's you want to reach out to somebody at the grocery store and say something to them because you overheard them say something that you could start a conversation with, but you're absolutely afraid. And I know this isn't specific to caring what people think, but when you force yourself outside of your comfort zone all the time, you get so uncomfortable that you get used to the feeling of being uncomfortable. You desensitize yourself to that feeling of that feeling you get in your stomach where you're like, oh my God, I care what people think. You get the feeling, you don't even get the feeling anymore. It's not even like it's there. Like sometimes it is, but I'm telling you, you don't even feel it anymore. So that is really what you want to do. And that can be a lot of different things. I think that was from something else. Okay, so these are some of the other things that you can do. So in terms of affirmations, this is an affirmation I want you to write down and I want you to do for the next 9 days. Now you can just kick this to the wayside and not worry about it and just go about your day and then continue to care what people think. But I'm telling you, if you want to make a change and you've constantly cared what people think for the past 15 to 20, 30 years of your life, Nothing's going to change. Nothing changes if nothing changes. So I really recommend to do this. You guys know I don't make anything mandatory, but I really recommend doing this. So I am completely independent of the good and bad opinions of others. I'm going to say it again. I want you to write this down, and you don't have to say it with me right now. I am completely independent of the good and bad opinions of others. I'm going to say it one more time. I am completely independent of the good and bad opinions of others. Repeat that to yourself for 5 minutes for the next 9 days. In the morning, where you're brushing your teeth, you can say it in your head, you can say it out loud. Better if you say it out loud, but okay. You could do it in your car. At 5 minutes for the society we have today feels like an eternity, but 5 minutes is nothing. And I know it might be uncomfortable, it might feel weird, you may even cry. But I'm telling you, do it for the next 9 days and say it for 5 minutes. And then once you're done, you're done. You're done. You're good. But it is going to make a paradigm shift in your head that you realize. Because the thing about comparing yourself that I also want to mention, or about caring what people think before we go into the comparing yourself side of this, is about not caring what people think even when they say good things. Yes, you have to not even care when people say good things. Doesn't mean you don't thank them, doesn't mean you don't appreciate it, but you have to remove yourself from the situation. So because your ego feeds off that too. Your ego doesn't want anything bad to be said about you. That's why it brings up that feeling in you of like, wait, they can't say that about you. You have to get upset. You have to get mad. But it also, when people applaud you, they're like, oh my gosh, this is so great. Oh my gosh. But when you feed into one, you're going to feed into the other side of it. So if you have balance and you appreciate what people say, but you don't let it get to your head. You don't because when you do that, and we're going to talk about this when in comparing, it gives you this temporary ego boost, which is great, but you want to just find that balance. So a few other things. So we talked about affirmations. I really recommend doing that affirmation. Let go of perfection. Kind of talked about this, but you have to let go of perfection. Even if you, like I said, even if you were to be perfect, there's gonna be haters. So just when you realize that you can't be perfect for everyone, you realize, okay, I don't need to worry about that. Number 3, know yourself, know your worth. If you listen to Drake, you know that. But know yourself, know your worth, know your tribe. Ashley, that's why you're shaking your head. I love you. So you have to know yourself, know who you are. You have to fall in love, and this is going to talk about this when we cover the comparing side of it. But you have to really focus on that self-love, which you guys know we really focus on that on our team. But really focusing on just you and not worrying about anybody else. Now, it seems so obvious, but if you do all these other things and then on top of that, focus on the self-love, because there's never just one thing I'm going to teach you that's going to fix all your problems. It's all of these things in accumulation. And surround yourself with your tribe. Like, we're obviously all surrounded with, people that lift us up, but make sure that your friends in your life aren't constantly people who are worrying about what other people think. And it's going to be hard. You can't necessarily change someone. They have to, work on themselves with personal development. But I've cut out a lot of people in my life, and it wasn't always easy, but it was a weight lifted off my shoulders because all they ever did was either judge other people or judge me. And it was just too much. Also want to do things alone. This is one of those things that's going to get you outside of your comfort zone to build up that thick skin so nothing bothers you. Traveling alone. Go to a movie by yourself. Go to dinner by yourself. I know that might seem really weird, but I've done all of those things and it's liberating. I've gone to dinner by myself, like sat down at a restaurant, asked for one, sit at a table. I don't know what it is, but it's amazing. Pat loves to do the same thing too. I actually went to a show. You guys know I see DJs. I went to a DJ by myself and was like shuffling and everything. Like, it was wild, but it's doing things alone just helps you be like, okay, I am me. That's all that matters. I care about other people, but I don't care what they think. Also, making a growth list. Make a list of things that you've always wanted to do, kind of like a bucket list, but things that you can like do right now that are going to make you go outside of your comfort zone. And you also want to do some mental decluttering. I watched this TED Talk from the girl that wrote the book, The Life-Changing Magic of Not Giving a Fuck. So you guys can see these books for those of you guys on Instagram, books that have to do with this topic: The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, The Life-Changing Magic of Not Giving a Fuck, The 4 Agreements, and The Fear of Attraction are really good for that. But in the TED Talk, she talked about mental decluttering. So she said, imagine your mind like a barn. So there's things in the barn that are great and you want to keep them, and there's other things that you need to get rid of. Your mind is that same way. So in your head, there is the possibility of a joyful life, of a stress-free life, not stress-free, but a life where you don't care what people think. But you have to declutter your mind. So you just have to figure out what you care about and what you don't care about. So she talks about the not sorry method, and she says there's 2 steps to the not sorry method. Number 1 is to make a list of things that you don't give a fuck about. Number 2, don't give a fuck about those things. And I know it's kind of easier said than done type of thing, but when something, comes up or somebody, says something, you have to think, do I give a fuck about this? No, I don't. I don't give a fuck. So you have to make sure that you are constantly reminding yourself, again, that awareness that it's going on, to stop yourself. Okay, let's get into the second part. So comparing, it sucks. It's awful. We all do it. But you get to the point where you compare less, and it helps so much. So this quote is really kind of like a tough love quote, because it's a little bit of a wake-up call. Hopefully you read it the same way I do. But personality begins where comparison leaves off. Be unique, be memorable, be confident, be proud. If you are stuck in the comparison game, to me this quote said, if you're stuck comparing yourself to others, you don't have a personality. Now, I like to tough love myself. I'm not saying you don't have personality, but personality begins when comparison leaves off, because if you're constantly comparing yourself to other people, you are always going to be worried about, how can I be like them, or how can I do this, versus being unique, being yourself, being memorable, being confident, be proud. So remember, personality begins. You start becoming that unique, attractive person. Not attractive as in good looking, but like you attract people on social media. Do you ever go on social media and you see those people that you're just magnetically attracted to? You just want to check their Instagram, and not in like a comparison way. You just like watching them to see what they do, because they're just so magnetic. That's what happens when you stop comparing yourself. Okay. So a few things about comparison. So we all grew up this way. It is instilled in us. Our parents did it. Our parents' culture. I know for me, I don't know about you guys, but like my parents' generation, like if I go to a family party, like everybody and their mother is constantly, sorry, I just had like a number call me 3 times and I don't know what it is. I'm kind of worried. Okay, if they call me again, I might have to grab the phone. Okay, so like if I go to like a family party, everybody is just like judging and comparing and all of these things. So it's something we're used to. So don't beat yourself up about comparing. It's normal, it's natural, it's a human nature thing. Everyone does it. That's why it's so normal to keep doing it. Doesn't make it right, and breaking the cycle starts with you. So stop saying another thing that, okay, hold on one second, guys. Hello? Okay. Sorry, that was a number called me 4 times. But nobody answered. I don't know. That was really strange. Okay. So something I want you to make sure that you're not doing is, or you need to stop doing, is stop saying that that comparison motivates you, because you compare yourself to others and it gets you excited and you want to compete. That's just tearing you apart. In theory, like it would be good, but most people cannot find that fine line of like comparing and just like using it as inspiration, which is what you really want to do. So there's a difference between comparing and inspiration. Okay. So what does comparison cause? So I want you to think to yourself, this is a rhetorical question, but name one benefit from comparing yourself to someone else. Oh my gosh, this number. Hello? Somebody is, oh, why do I hear myself in the background? This is so strange. Sorry, Instagram. I have a number that keeps calling me and I don't know why. How do I block this number? This is so strange. Is anybody like on Zoom and like, I can't block the number. Hold on. I was in Instagram live, so I had to get out. Okay, but it's somebody on the call. Somebody is on the call right now because I heard Zoom in the background. So it's somebody on this call right now that's calling my phone. I don't know who it is. Sorry, Instagram. I had a number call me like 5 times. Okay, let's get back into it. So ask yourself, what does comparing yourself do? It doesn't do anything. What it causes is it causes self-doubt. It causes competitiveness in a mean-spirited way. Your self-worth becomes dependent on others, which is like really like, whoa, I don't want that at all. Absolutely. Like you do not want your whole life to be dependent on others, because if you're comparing yourself, then this person has a better life than me, a better car, a better house, a better family than me, then that determines your self-worth. No one wants that. And it's also unfair. And this is the biggest point. You guys have heard this 1,000 times, yet you don't remind yourself of it every day, you never know the full story. So you go on Instagram, you see someone's highlight reel. So if you are in the business, we're using it specifically in the business sense, and you go to somebody's page and you're like, oh my gosh, I started my business the same time they did. They're the same age as me, and they're so much further in my business. But you have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. You have no idea any advantages that they have that you don't have. You don't know what's going on. They could be working so hard that they're about to get a divorce because I know a Beachbody coach that got a divorce because they worked too hard and completely were like, screw you to my family or to their family, and they ended up getting a divorce because of it. So do not compare yourself when you do not know the full story. In terms of health and fitness, maybe you're a girl who has PCOS and you're like, oh my gosh, this girl's the same age as me. She has PCOS and she's so thin. I've had girls come to me like that before. They're like, oh my gosh, you have PCOS. Like, how are you so thin? Like, usually everyone with PCOS is overweight. And I was like, I used to be overweight. And you have no idea what I went through to get to this point. It wasn't like I just woke up and was all of a sudden thin. So you just have to understand that you don't know everyone's full story. You will always be comparing yourself to somebody's highlight reel. Okay. All right, so these are some reasons why you have to stop, and then we're going to go into how to stop comparing. Oh my gosh, another number's calling me, a completely different number. Some numbers keep calling me. I'm sorry, guys. Some number from Louisville, Kentucky. Is anybody from Louisville? I might have to turn this off to go block another number. Okay, sorry, you guys know how squirrel I get, and getting 17 phone calls is definitely not helping. Concentrate. Okay, so nothing good can come from comparing. So number one, someone will always be better and worse than you. So comparison can happen in a good or bad way. So knowing that someone will always be better or worse than you has nothing to do with you at all. So there's always going to be somebody that you're comparing yourself to and you're like, oh my God, I like totally rock it way more than them. You might not say that to anybody, but you're thinking it in your head. And then there's always going to be somebody that you're like, oh my God, I wish I had their life. So there's comparison in both ways, but none of it has a benefit. Number two, you're going to get a short-lived ego boost. Let's say you do see somebody and you compare yourself to them and they're like, you're so much better than them. It gives you a little ego boost, but it gives you, if you see it in a bad way, again, just like the caring about what other people think in a good or bad way, if you compare yourself in a good or bad way in this sense, if you do it, oh my God, sorry guys, oh my God. Okay, I'm going to block this other number. I'm really sorry, guys. If I wasn't going Instagram Live, it wouldn't be an issue. Okay. Short-lived ego boost, but it's going to give you depression, a longer suppression state if you're constantly comparing yourself in the bad way. So either way, it's going to give a short-lived ego boost or a long depression state if you compare yourself the other way. Number three, you end up blabbing about how good you are to prove yourself. You might not realize it, but I know I was doing this because when I first was really, really struggling with this, I constantly always had to talk myself up to make myself feel better about myself because I was constantly looking. I would go on Instagram and see all these people that I wanted to be, but then I was in my real life and I was around people who I thought I was better than. I would always make sure to talk about my accolades, talk about all these good things because it made me feel good because in the back of my head, I'm like, oh my God, there's all those people on Instagram that are doing way better than me, or at least I thought they were. And then I would go out into the real world and have to boost myself up, yet nobody knew what was going on the inside. So another thing you do is you start criticizing others. You create jealousy, which leads you to bringing them down. So I noticed I did this the other day, and you guys know I'm honest with you, so I'll just be honest. I was on the Beachbody Champions page, and I saw a coach, this was a video from forever ago, a coach go Facebook Live, and as she was talking, I was just staring at it. And I noticed I could feel jealousy coming up. She was talking about how good her team was doing. And then she would mention something that she was doing with her business. And I was like, that doesn't work. And then she said something to not do that I do that I think is totally fine. And I was like, bitch, she doesn't know, whatever, it's just stupid. And then after I stopped watching that, I was like, ew, I feel so gross. That person's probably a super nice person. Hold on. Someone just messaged me and said this is really important. Okay, oh my gosh. I don't know what's going on. Oh my gosh. Oh my God, somebody's having a baby. And she said Jill's having her baby. Ronald left her alone. Oh my God, they think it's me. Oh my God, this is not Sarah. Oh my God, this is like the craziest thing. Sorry, Instagram. I just had someone call me thinking that I was some person named Sarah and somebody was having their baby. I just wanted to text her and let her know I wasn't Sarah. Okay. So I just felt gross when I did that. And after I like recognized it, again, awareness is the first step. And I was like, I don't want to do that. That's gross. Like there's no point in me doing that. Also, you aren't owning your own life when this happens. So you, good God. Washington, D.C., Kentucky, Wilmington. I am going to go absolutely insane. You guys are going to see me go insane on this call. So you are not owning your own life. You're not really loving yourself when you compare. So if you think, you got that self-love on lock, but you're on Instagram and you're comparing yourself to somebody else, the way somebody looks or their business, not saying you don't love yourself, but you really need to make sure you take a step back and look at your self-love, because you aren't owning your own life when you're constantly saying, I wish my life was like that, or I wish I had this in my business, or I wish I could control my eating, and I wish I, whatever it is. Really make sure that you're focusing on that. Okay, so there's also something called the lie of lack. And what the lie of lack is basically telling yourself, I will not be happy or satisfied unless I unless I get what that person has that I want. So it's you're lying to yourself, telling yourself, I'm not going to be happy until I have that thing. So for me, and I'm going to talk about getting rid of some social media things, but for me, I had to stop following Amy Silverman. I adore her as a Beachbody coach. I think she's amazing, but she was one of those people that I was like, I want her life. Like she has the tattoos and she has a body that I want, like all those things. I love her to death, but I had to remove myself from that situation, and nothing against her, but it's just sometimes you can't stop it, so you have to get rid of it. So for me, I was telling myself, I'm not going to ever be happy in Beachbody unless my life is exactly like Amy Silverman. That's not true. And if I kept thinking that, I would literally live my entire life feeling that I was never going to be good enough. And you will die an unhappy person if you constantly compare yourself to whoever it is, whether it's another Beachbody coach or it's, somebody else that you follow on Instagram or whatever it is. Okay. So you're also going to have you want to make sure that you don't have a scarcity mentality, which is reason why a lot of people focus on comparing, is because you think, okay, there's only a finite amount of success that people can have, and all those people at the top already had that success. All those people at the top already had that success, and that means that I can't have that success. That means I just can't have it anymore, and there's none left for me. So that's why you compare, because you're like, you have to crawl and bite and climb to the top, but it's like there's room for everybody. There's an infinite amount of success for everybody. You're also going to be constantly chasing a better life, a better this, a better that, constantly chasing. Okay. All right, so these are some ways that you can, sorry, this person just called me 15 times. Okay, so number one, you can literally trick yourself. No, wait, this is not it. I was about to say that's not right. Sorry, these are so out of order. This is a hot mess today, guys, but this is real life. It happens. Okay, so how to stop. Number one, relax and be authentic. Relax and be authentic. So when you are constantly comparing, it's because you aren't just focusing on just being you. You want to be that other person. You want to have that other person's life. And you're not just taking a deep breath and focusing on your life. Focus on being authentic. Practice every day falling in love with you. Loving yourself is not something that's going to happen from just reading Mastering Your Mean Girl. I love that book, and I constantly say people should read it all the time, but it comes through affirmations, meditations, all those things constantly, consistently, every single day. I have grown to love myself. I didn't always love myself. You guys know I was suicidal, I had eating disorders, all those things. If I stopped working on myself every day and adding it to my affirmations and doing meditations on it, I would lose my self-love. It's just like a muscle. Your self-love is a muscle. So please make sure that you're focusing on that all the time. Number two, be inspired, not threatened. So when you see somebody that you follow and you like, or whatever it is that you're comparing yourself to, you, again, be aware that it's happening, but just be inspired by it. Add it to your own vision. So this is the way I want you to think of it now. Instead of looking at it and being, I wish I had that, say, that's awesome that she freaking has that. I'm inspired to get that. And then you take whatever that is and you add it to your vision. So whatever it is you want in your life. So let's say Amy Silverman, she has this is silly. This isn't like one of the things I'm comparing myself, but just because my mind is completely combobbled right now and I can't think of anything else. She's got a whole entire sleeve. I want an entire sleeve of tattoos. So instead of being like, oh my God, like I wish I could afford to get all those tattoos and blah, 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 or whatever, my excuse would be, I could just be like, oh my God, she's such a freaking badass for having that. Like I'm totally going to have that, and put it in my vision and aim for it. You want to take it and be inspired, not threatened. Number 3, know you can always acquire. So what that means is someone else's attributes are not only specific and unique to them. It doesn't mean because you, see that somebody that has the body or the money or whatever, that like a lot of times we compare and we think we just see somebody in a certain way and we think we can't have that. Yes, you can. You can have all of it. You just see the attributes and know that, hey, I can acquire those. That person's really confident. I can acquire confidence. That person is really driven. I can acquire, being super driven. That person is so good with their meal prepping. I can acquire that. So instead of looking at it as that seems so far-fetched, tell yourself that you can acquire it. And even if you don't think you can, that's when you get back to the affirmations. You add it to your affirmations and you say, I am confident. I am driven. I kick ass with my meal prep. Number 4, you are incomparable. It is for every human being, it was a 1 in 40 million chance of you even being born. The chance of your mother meeting your father, 1 in 20 million. So the chances of you even being here and being the exact human being that you are, with the hair and the skin and the personality and the height and the voice and everything, is so unique to you. So embrace that. Embrace that and remind yourself of that when you compare yourself, because this is the only body that you get to live in for your entire life. That's it. We don't know what happens later on, but this is all you got right now. So if you keep comparing yourself, you're going to drain yourself till the end of your days. Okay, these are the last 2 slides. So number 5, be grateful. You guys know I always talk about gratitude, 5-minute journal, talk about it all the time. If you haven't picked it up, pick it up. It is so amazing. I was into meditations, into affirmations, but it took me a little bit longer to actually start a gratitude journal because I was like, oh, that's silly. I'll just be like, hey, I'm grateful for this. Writing it down has been life-changing. When you start loving what you got, it's really hard to be like, oh, I wish my life was something else. Because you're like, no, my life is freaking awesome. I'm so grateful for all of these things that I have. Number 6, measure what's important to you specifically. So what matters to you, not to other people. So, for example, if you're, you're comparing yourself to somebody in your family that is a doctor and has a lot of money, and maybe you're kind of trying to figure out what you're doing, but maybe money's not important to you. So instead of comparing yourself to that person just because they're doing all those things, if money's not important to you, then that's not how you should measure what's going on. If you are a mom and you see another kid in school where their parents are just buying them a ton of presents all the time and the kid's got a million things and you can't really afford to give your kids all the presents, but if you take a step back and look and you took away like getting a promotion at work just so you knew you could spend more time with your kid because time matters more to you than presents, pay attention to what you're measuring. So presents might not be important to you, but time with your kid might be. So make sure you're looking at it from a different lens. So don't just compare yourself and then be like, wait, there might be something else behind all of this in terms of what's important to you. Number 7, perfection is impossible. We talked about this in terms of caring what people think. You will die unsatisfied and unhappy if you constantly try to be perfect. So if you're trying to be this perfect person that you think you see on social media, just know, again, you don't know the full story, so it doesn't matter. It's unfair to think that perfect is what they are because they're not. 8, make sure you're focusing on the should versus want. So if you are looking at something, instead of saying, oh, I should have that life, I should have that much money, I should look like that, you can say, I want to, I aspire to have that, look like that, whatever it is. So just make sure you change around the wording instead of should and say want. So then the last thing I want to talk about is just, you need to make sure that you remove the things that you just can't let go of. There's going to be some things that you just can't let go of. I talked about this with Unfollowing Amy Silverman. And again, it has nothing to do with her. It's my own personal thing. But I noticed I was just scrolling and always looking at her stuff, and it was so distracting for me. So social media is, while it's very amazing and beneficial, and I wouldn't have met so many of you if it wasn't for social media, so I appreciate it so much, it has made us a depressed and never satisfied society. It's true. And you can control that. It doesn't mean you have to be depressed. but we only ever see the highlight reel on social media. So I am going to tell you, if there's somebody on social media that you're constantly comparing yourself to, you always check their social media, and you have that little twinge of like jealousy and a little bit of hate for them for no reason, just because you wish you had their life. Unfollow them, block their page if you have to, get rid of it, whatever you need to do. But removing some people from social media, it has nothing to do with them or like you hate them. It's just helpful to you, whatever that is. So that's really about it. Thank you guys so much for dealing with me. I don't know what's going on. The lady just literally texted me and said my mom has diarrhea. This is like the strangest thing I have ever seen in my life. I don't even know what my phone's gonna say when I get off of it. But I didn't know if anybody had any questions. I know somebody on Instagram asked what the TED Talk was. So the TED Talk is on YouTube, and it's the life-changing magic of not giving a fuck. It's TED Talk at Coconut Grove. If you want to check it out, it's like 12 minutes long. It's really, really good. But did anybody have any questions in the chat box? I do the same with Amy. Yeah, I mean, she's just amazing, and she's freaking awesome. Oh my gosh. Somebody commented on my Instagram and said, bitch, stop ignoring me. This is a fun night. This is a fun night. I don't know what's going on, but it's cool, guys. It's fine. What a perfect day to not care what people think. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. I hope that you guys took something from that. And remember, if there's anything, say that affirmation. That affirmation will be powerful. But use something that you learned tonight and really put it into action. And it's okay if you care what people think. It's okay. I don't want you to feel like I'm beating you up by saying you shouldn't care. Like, it's normal. It's natural. It's human nature to care. It's normal. It's natural to compare. But do something about it. Be proactive in your journey to get past those things. So awesome. Thank you guys so much. I'll update you on the team page if anything really exciting happens. I may unblock these people just to be like, oh, you want to have a conversation about this? Because I'm really confused as to what's going on. Oh, there's another one. Now New Orleans. So that was Kentucky, Washington, D.C., New Orleans, and now Delaware. I don't know. And they keep calling and hanging up, And somebody has diarrhea. So anyway, I will talk to you guys tomorrow.